has and continues to happen is phenomenal as firms grapple with varying degrees of success in improving the way they communicate and transact with their customers. What we do know is that multi-party technologies like blockchain can and will play a pivotal role in continuing to facilitate this change and ultimately aiding in our recovery. The first job of my working life was building bridges. So, as we commence QuarterCon 2020, I've been reflecting on what that means in terms of what R3 does now, how we are building bridges, and what we still have to do. With a situation where businesses likely will never return to the old normal, it leaves many with no choice but to advance their digital transformational efforts, and it poses a couple of really important questions. Where does this leave us now? And what does digital transformation actually mean to us? So for me, digital transformation is a vehicle for change. It's what R3 set out to accelerate way back in 2015 when we began to develop Corda. We were driven by a need to build a platform that could reimagine how organizations and entire industries connect and transact with each other. We recognize that as industry veterans, the current state of bespoke software solutions and countless incompatible APIs severely limited the potential of businesses, business networks, and entire industries. So we set out on a journey to solve for these problems, and that result was Corda. And now that we have a solid foundation with our Corda platform, the next chapter for us at R3 is to focus on helping you, our customers, by reducing your time to market for new applications, by reducing your overhead for running those applications at scale, and by helping you manage your portfolio of digital assets across business lines. Today, a whole host of technologies are on the digital transformation agenda, such as blockchain, AI, IoT, 5G, and cloud. And the fuel powering and connecting all of them is data. Yet of these, blockchain is the one that supercharges these technologies by organizing and securing this real-time data between multiple interested parties so it can be used to solve real-world problems. Blockchain provides the logic, the immutable distributed ledger that enables end users who don't trust each other to transact directly without intermediaries, all while delivering privacy, security, and scalability. When you put all of these next-gen technologies together with blockchain, it massively expands the potential for software vendors and IT departments alike to develop new products and services which will have an immediate, positive, and lasting impact on customers and ultimately entire markets. Many of you who are here today are already developing or have developed multi-party solutions that tick this box. Over the next few days, you'll hear about the value being delivered by companies of all sizes, stages, and industries, such as HQLAX, Contour, TradeIX, B3I, Riskstream, and MoneyGram. We also have some new faces here, like Archex, EchoTrace, LedgerTech, and Koju. There are simply too many to mention. Importantly, and one of the big differences from a year ago, is that we have commercial applications that are operating at scale. We believe that Corda has achieved this milestone uniquely amongst enterprise blockchains, and getting there hasn't been easy. There has been a treasure chest of hard-learned lessons as we move from the laboratory into production. These lessons have resulted in R3 reshaping our entire organization to respond to these challenges. And we believe these experiences and our response will be the differentiator that further separates us from the pack. We make the changes and enhancements necessary to make sure you are successful. Trying to delight our customers is at the center of what we do and how we think here at R3. You are developers, architects, CEOs, CTOs, head of product, data innovators, and more. But you all have one thing in common. You realize the potential of enterprise blockchain platforms like Corda to enable you to deliver innovative, tailored products and services to help your customers run their businesses more efficiently and to drive revenue growth through new business offerings. And now, taking a few more moments to reflect on this past year. Despite the challenges 2020 had in store for us, there were some real-life examples of digital industry transformation that gave us glimpses into a brighter and more efficient and interconnected future for global markets. So let's take a look at a couple. The Spunta project, backed by the Italian Banking Association, which is operated by SIA and built by NTT Data on Corda Enterprise, is designed to tackle interbank reconciliation. Right now, there are 100 banks in production, representing 91% of the entire Italian banking sector. They have processed 204 million transactions and is taking into account only the first 2 waves of that project. This is one of the best examples of how blockchain technology can enable an entire industry to come together and to solve a shared problem. DV Ventures, with their procure-to-pay invoice financing platform, reduces overall procurement process times by over 50% and has resulted in cost reductions of nearly 70% for its users. As one of the first live Corda apps, we've spoken about some of these impressive numbers in the past, but the network has now grown to 6,400 suppliers using the application, and they hope to scale to 10,000 by year end. And there's over 70 buyers like Siam Cement Group participating. Building on the success of SDX in 2019, we saw global exchanges continue to embrace the idea of regulated digital assets as their next generation product offering. NASDAQ Exchanges Market Technology announced they are using Corda to deliver end-to-end trade lifecycle solutions for their exchange customers and digital asset marketplaces. And on top of the major exchanges such as SDX and NASDAQ, we saw traditional financial market infrastructure businesses continue to provide leadership by exploring the benefits of digitization in public and private markets. DTCC announced 2 important and potentially transformative projects: Project Whitney and Project Ion. Project Ion seeks to optimize and accelerate the settlement process in public markets by leveraging blockchain, while Project Whitney strives to deliver increased levels of digitization throughout the private market asset lifecycle by exploring asset tokenization and developing digital infrastructure from issuance through secondary markets. DTCC recognizes that blockchain technology has the potential to significantly modernize and enhance how trading activity is processed in the future and transform how financial markets operate. And when it comes to digital currencies, we continue to find ourselves at a critical point in the evolution of money, as the need to modernize the paper-based economy has never been more apparent than during the pandemic. Central banks from all over the world found themselves right at the center of this digital revolution. For example, Riksbank, the central bank of Sweden, announced a pilot for e-krona on Corda to explore the possibilities of issuing a central bank digital currency known as CBDC. This project expands on all the work that R3 has done with numerous central banks over the years, and we continue to march towards making CBDCs a reality. As we help central banks and market participants along their journey, we launched a CBDC working group in September with the goal of establishing the technical and governance requirements for CBDC. Diverse participants, including more than 35 central banks, the IMF, the FCA, BIS, and major consultancies, software firms, as well as leading banks have all participated. The excitement in the industry around CBDC working group really brings me back to our early days at R3, when we worked collaboratively and closely with the industry to design and build our product. R3 has come a long way since, establishing itself as a world-class enterprise software firm. But we still recognize and cherish the great value we derive from market leaders that help us innovate and scale. Today, we sit at the center of the largest blockchain ecosystem in the world, and our strategic partners help us accelerate the development and the deployment of solutions built on Corda. R3 is fortunate to work alongside leading cloud providers, global system integrators, bold fledgling startups, and highly innovative software providers from all around the world. This year at CordaCon, we will launch a new partner program for our ecosystem, and we'll be sharing some exciting announcements, both with partners you might expect and some you might not. The crisis has understandably created a new sense of urgency, causing our customers and their customers to want value now. They are tired of hearing about the promises of blockchain. This has caused us to reconsider how we help our partners and customers remove friction in deploying scalable solutions. As I have said, customers want to use applications that can operate and scale in a new digital-first and connected world. I've already touched on exchanges and FMIs capitalizing on blockchain technology, but software vendors also find themselves in a prime position to drive change. As digital industry transformation continues to gain pace, R3 believes we will move from a world where organizations would traditionally build or buy and run their own distinct, bespoke applications, which are out of sync with their peers and competitors and other industry participants, to a new normal using blockchain technologies to share market-level applications. Enterprise blockchain technology like Corda allows software providers that already have a large network of loyal customers to move away from selling bespoke solutions to individual customers to selling solutions that connect business networks and can overhaul the entire industry they serve. These connected networks will create new market opportunities, drive savings, and deliver new revenues. What can we expect from R3 and Corda in the year to come? This past year, we made significant improvements to the Corda platform to enable faster and more resilient deployment of nodes, networks, and applications. But there is still much more to do. We have focused on enabling a more visual way to build apps and simplify the deployment and development process. We are focused on the features that matter most to our customers, like Corda's intercompany workflow. Over the last 9 months, we have further improved the flow framework by giving customers more granular analysis and control. But the year isn't over yet. In Q4, we're focused on continuing to build out one-click deployments and ensuring that Corda can satisfy the most demanding use cases by significantly increasing its performance and operational capabilities to support complex, high-value transactions in production environments. So looking ahead to 2021, we will continue to focus on accelerating time to market by helping our customers leverage cloud capabilities, which can greatly simplify deployment and management of Corda nodes, importantly, saving time and money. For that reason, I'm excited to announce that we'll be launching Corda Managed Services to help business network operators and Corda app builders focus on the business value of their applications. Corda Managed Services will offer Corda software as a service, so you can deploy your Corda apps without spending the time and money needed to establish a 24/7 operations team. We'll take care of the infrastructure, network and security concerns to get you to market sooner and give you more choice about if and when you host Corda. To put it simply, bring us your Corda app and we'll deploy it and run it for you. Corda 5 will also be making its debut early next year and will represent a step change in the way Corda is delivered. With this new version, we'll start to componentize Corda so that users can access and deploy the features you want and that you value more quickly and cost effectively. We will continue to focus on the ease and cost of deployment and have some exciting plans to dramatically reduce runtime costs. On the payment side, digital assets are core to blockchain transformation. So we are laser focused on ensuring that Corda can handle the end-to-end life cycle of digital assets and deliver the promise of delivery versus payment. This will dramatically reduce time to value for developers and create new options for customers around settlement, including using settlement coins, CBDC, and if you wish, other forms like stable coins or even cryptocurrencies. And when it comes to privacy, we are developing an exciting new product called Conclave. Conclave gives businesses an amazing new power. It lets you control not only with whom you are sharing your data, but also control what they can do with it. Businesses possess so much data, and yet it could be so much more useful to them and their customers if it could be combined and analyzed along data held by others rather than kept in its own silo. But the only way to truly unlock this value is for businesses to feel comfortable sharing their data with their partners, counterparties, and even their competitors. But they really do, because they can't trust how it will be used. Conclave builds on hardware security technology from Intel and puts it directly into the hands of data scientists and business programmers at the heart of every business. With Conclave, you'll be able to safely share and pool data across an entire market, but without the risk of data being used inappropriately. We are also integrating Conclave into Corda to further extend Corda's lead as the most private enterprise blockchain platform. Always so much to share with you, but in the essence of time, I would like to leave you with this. The global pandemic has highlighted the need for legacy systems to change, and we're already seeing real transformation. Early adopters like you are the brave ones. You recognize the safety of the status quo. However, you are willing to take risks to intelligently embrace emerging technology. Now more than ever, it's time to capitalize on this technological revolution. As I mentioned at the start, my first job was building bridges. In fact, it was in heavy construction building the I-83 bridge over the Susquehanna River in Pennsylvania. That bridge took years and years to build, and it wasn't without risk. But thousands of people use it every day to get from point A to point B. And importantly, it will last for over 100 years. When you start out building something transformational, you can't fully appreciate how important it will be in people's lives. All these years later, I'm still building bridges. At R3, as a team, we're building bridges. Corda, like the bridge over the Susquehanna, has taken us 5 years to build. But it will underpin how businesses connect for decades to come. As pioneers in emerging technology, as transformational as blockchain, we're all bridge builders. We're connecting a past filled with friction, fragmentation, and inefficiencies to an interconnected future where businesses operate more directly, seamlessly, and securely. It's becoming more and more clear that the age of inter-firm optimization is over, and the future will be paved by digital technologies that focus on adding real value to entire markets. CordaCon may look a little bit different this year, but one thing has not changed: the opportunity for exploration. For CordaCon, not just today, but for the next 3 days, explore, think about new ways of working, discover how to be more agile, and connect with fellow innovators who are out building the future of tomorrow, just like you. Thank you.
Hey everybody, welcome to CordaCon 2020, our first day of sessions. My name is Mike Ward. For those of you who've attended CordaCon in the past, you'd know me as being the MC typically. In this virtual environment, that's a little harder. So we wanted to take the opportunity to introduce the sessions that are going to be coming up. I'm joined by the rest of my team. We collectively are part of the product management team. So myself, I run our product management team, along with Gabe, Case, and Joel. You'll hear from all three of them on the various sections of our product strategy today, looking into the future of Corda. So really what we want to help you understand is, where is R3 looking to take Corda in the future? And then to highlight the sessions that we think will be helpful for you to understand the detail of either how we're doing this or how our partners are trying to achieve this. So of course, a lot of what we're trying to achieve and a lot of the conversations we have around Corda and where to take it in the future tend to be very infrastructure focused. We talk about how to create scalable deployments. We talk about challenges we have in putting blockchain systems live in large production systems, which has been happening over the last couple of years. But a lot of this work then, and a lot of sessions we hear, are really how we're trying to overcome this, and how we're trying to deliver these benefits on behalf of you. How much of the problems that you have can we abstract back into the platform? And really what we're trying to do here is to simplify that. So in the analogy, of course, your experience with a very complicated infrastructure is simply experiencing it through a light switch experience. But behind that is a very complicated infrastructure environment. That's what we're trying to build on your behalf, do it in partnership with you guys. So we're going to talk a lot today and then over the next couple of days about a lot of that backside work that's happening. But as you'll hear from the product team, really what we're aiming for here is that light switch experience to try and create a very simple blockchain enabled experience powered by Corda. So how are we going to do this? We've looked a lot at our last couple of years. So Corda's been in the market over 4 years now, at a lot of the projects that have gone live, a lot of the projects that have been challenging even, to try and understand, well, what have we learned from this, and where are we going to take this over the next 4 years? And internally at R3, we developed our own product strategy. We'll talk a little bit about that today. We hope that it's more apparent in the sessions you attend this week. And we broke this down into 3 themes. First is what we call transact. And really this is the end user's experience with the platform. Of course, blockchain systems and how we're taking Corda are fantastic for tokenizing assets and doing delivery versus payments of those assets. So we're going to talk a little bit today and then show you the sessions that'll help you understand what R3's strategy is to create a full platform for the full life cycle of tokenized assets. So Case will talk to us about that today and highlight some sessions you should listen to hear more about that. The next area is around Connect. And moving down into the technology stack, Connect is really about interoperability primarily. So it's how do we take these blockchain systems, these Corda systems specifically, and get these networks to connect. This is based on a lot of learning about how blockchain has been deployed in other solutions, but how in particular we've seen Corda deployed. And there's a real tension that Gabe will talk about desire for control, technical requirements around a shared system, but also that end desire to have transparent transactions across these network boundaries. Gabe will take us through some of our thinking on that today. And then last is a whole category we just call simplify. And this is really the strategic imperative we have to simplify and create a very short time to value for you. Blockchain systems generally are very complex. So we've taken a lot of care from the developer experience to make this a much simpler experience. We're going to continue pushing ahead there, but it's not just about the build process. It's about that deploy and that run experience. Joel's going to take us through the efforts we're going through to create a much simpler experience for that, driving fast time to value so we can start realizing some of the exciting benefits you're going to get from Corda. So I'm going to hand over to the team. They're going to take you through very high level strategy in the short time we have and highlight the sessions we think would be benefit to you to help understand the details of these 3 categories of our strategy. The first person I'm going to hand over to is Case.
Thanks, Mike. So Transact over 2020 has really been about digital assets and payments. So when I think digital assets, I think more control, more security, more efficiency, synchronized data, self-executing trades, autonomous assets, reconciliation-free, break-free, and of course DVP. And this is kind of where it all began. At the heart of blockchain was the movement of digital value. It all started with Bitcoin, and fast forward, and we're now essentially in the 3rd innovative wave of blockchain technology. And it's really being led by the rise of digital assets. The ability to represent assets on a decentralized digital system, execute transactions, automate life cycles is creating new markets for previously illiquid assets and reducing risk and cost in post-trade. 2020 has been an enormous year for the space, as you'll find out over the course of QuarterCon 2020. Next slide. So what a year it's been for payments. So much has been happening. We've seen the CBDC genie well and truly leave the bottle, the work on Yi Krona and Riksbank, as well as the work SDX are doing with the Swiss National Bank spring to mind. We've seen on-ledger tokens go live. We've seen collateral mobilized and stablecoins come to life. We've seen existing payment networks reimagined on Corda. I'm talking faster payment systems of the future being built on Corda. And of course, the work we've been doing at R3 to enable universal payments from Corda for Corda developers. Next slide. So when I was asked to put together a list of the sessions I'm most excited about in the Transact space, I really struggled. Probably the hardest thing I've had to do all year, because there's so much incredible content, so many incredible speakers, and so many incredible solutions at QuarterCon 2020. But here's my best effort. So straight off the bat, we've got the future of the digital ecosystem, the digital asset ecosystem, presented by Tim Grant of SDX. So Tim's going to take us on a journey of how SDX is building an integrated issuance, trading, custody, and settlement platform for digital assets. I'm hoping we get to hear from Tim on SDX's work with the Swiss National Bank to bring digital central bank money to the network for instant settlement. We're going to be joined by Johan Toll of Nasdaq, talking to us about how they've been creating a marketplace for digital assets. We'll be hearing from Johan on the work they're doing in delivering complete, fully managed digital asset exchanges that leverage their world-class matching engines, data discovery services, and reporting services. We're going to be hearing from MoneyGram. MoneyGram will be talking about how they're transforming the money transfer business. We'll be hearing how they're using Corda to transform and future-proof digital remittances with greater transparency, lower cost, and improved data ownership. Project Ion from DTCC. We'll be hearing from Rob Palatnik. 50 years in the making, DTCC has been committed to helping the industry mitigate risk and facilitate clearing and settlement. With Project Ion, we'll be hearing how they'll be advancing the financial industry from a world of T+2 settlement to T0 using Corda. We'll be hearing from Laura Fontana from Wells Fargo about their project, creating digital treasury optimization. That's one I really can't wait to hear about. They've been able to enable faster and more efficient internal cross-border money transfers with their solution. There's me. I'll be talking to the roadmap of universal payments. I'll be talking about what R3 are doing to enable our developers to access universal payments, whether it be existing payment rails through ISO 20022, stablecoins, CBDC, all with a write once, deploy everywhere approach. I'll also be looking forward on just how powerful payments can be from Corda when every payment transaction can be optimized in the context of that business transaction. We'll be joined by Dan Housted of Ivno and Brian McNulty of Fun Admin Chain and Guido Stromo of